when you took this job, I presume you would have looked at previous years, what would have happened, and how the fans have vocalised their acceptance before. So it can't have been a surprise when things are going not as smoothly as we'd hope for that to rear its head again. I mean, I guess my question is, were you expecting that at the first time of any issues?
Oh, look, I think you just deal with it as I've always done. It's not my first experience. I mean, I think it was first maybe 2 or 3 games at Celtic, they were throwing tennis balls on the pitch, mate, in protest, actually disrupted games. So it's not the first time I've had to face this kind of thing. And I always feel my role in that is, again, not whether, it's not telling people what to do, but it's hopefully trying to guide the football club into a place where, all these things can be resolved, in a secondary way, where the focus, particularly on match day, is just on us winning games of football. And I think I always felt that's been my role, and that's what I've tried to do my whole career. Like I said, it's not the first time I've kind of been at a club where there's disenchantment with, whether it's a board or an owner or some aspect of a football club. The reason I don't take positions on this is because I think my more important function is to make sure that, the football side of, the football club I'm involved in is guiding us forward rather than sort of the other way around. Because I just think there's no real, there's no real kind of benefit in any other focus for me being as, the manager of this football club. It's just me putting my energies into convincing people one way or another about anything, whether that's fans or the board or the media, or I think what we do on the field, particularly on match days, is of primary importance.
It feels like it's born of frustration from the lack of trophies. This seems to be the primary factor. Yeah. This is a quarter-final yet, but this is a chance. I mean, whilst your focus is on yourself and your team, do you feel like that winning a trophy could start to heal that?
Well, it's the unknown, isn't it, Tom? If I go on the general sentiment since I've been in this job, it feels like a trophy will just make this place transform into something. So let's see. Me personally, like I keep saying, I want more than that. I just don't think it's just about getting a trophy. I think when you want to build a successful, sustainable club in terms of competing for trophies every year, it's more than that. But it wouldn't be the first time I was wrong about something, even while I've been in this job. But maybe a trophy is what it needs. I don't know.
And just finally, when you were talking about Russell Martin and Gary O'Neill, it kind of goes against what you're talking about in terms of building something. I mean, what gives you confidence that you're going to have that kind of... It could be confidence, could be naivety, could be I don't care, what sort of, whether people, whether I'm allowed to see it out. I'm just not going to change. Look, I kind of may be a dinosaur in that, but I still believe in legacy coaching. I still believe in doing things that will last and make a difference, and it goes in the face of everything else that's happening in the world of football. I mean, you guys will know better than me. I don't know what the average tenure of a Premier League manager is, but it has to guess be less than 18 months probably. I see very rarely managers going beyond their second year unless they've won something or the club's stuck by them for some particular reason. So, but I just, I keep saying I kind of feel blessed that I'm kind of, at the stage of my career where I am, where, I'm just not interested in any other kind of methodology in terms of coaching, of just going in and, winning something and then moving on and then winning something else. It's, I still believe in, the things I enjoy, like I said, stuff that lasts, and no one's found a way yet to do that in a quick manner. No one has in 1 year or in 2 years built something that's sustainable. Just they've had success, but then it usually falls apart pretty quickly after. So I'm not going to sort of change who I am at this stage of my career, but
if I was starting out, I'd probably, I got no doubt I'd have a different mindset. You'd go in as a firefighter, you just go, you know what, I'll get some results, just get this club up and running, you know, think that it's not going to last more than maybe 2 years and see what my next move's going to be.
Well, can you tell us more about Destiny? Was that just fatigue then?
Well, he's probably the only one we haven't given a rest to. So he actually wanted to continue on the night, so we kind of, but obviously the game had started well, so we took him off. And it's just fatigue, and you know, again, the reality is if he plays tomorrow night, he won't play Sunday or vice versa, because he's one of the few. Like, we've managed to give Pedro a bit of a rest on the other side. I mean, the fullback positions are pretty demanding for us, but Destiny, every time I've kind of wanted to, you know, he's had to play Europe because obviously Jed's not available for Europe, and since Ben's been out, he's just played every game, so he's just fatigued.
You had Reguilon on the bench for a couple of games, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, he had a dental tooth extraction that kept him out of the weekend, so he was bedridden, but he's back available.
He's back available.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he someone who's probably going to leave you next month? I just wondered if you weren't. You brought Jed back into the fold.
Well, he's available, yeah, so he's available for selection. And again, tomorrow, we'll get Biss back, but apart from that, that still means everyone else is out. So, you know, he'll definitely be back in the squad, and, you know, an opportunity to use him here, because, we'll have probably only 4 first-team players on the subs bench, of which he'll be one.
Neil? Just pick up just on a couple of things. You said how important it is the crowd to get behind your team. Conversely, have you experienced in your career when negative reaction from the crowd has impacted the team? Does it impact them, this sort of noise around even on the pitch?
I think it does, in terms of, you know, like I said, you when you play at home, I think it can be a major advantage when, you know, the sort of support is, you know, all aligned with everything else at the football club, for sure. It does help, but at the same time, you can't mandate that. You can't tell people how to feel, as I keep saying. So, you know, if there are, you know, sort of fractures in that, then of course you're not getting the maximum out of your camp, like anything else in sort of your organisation. But yeah, so it can have an effect. Again, at the same time, you know, we as the people out there, and particularly the players and myself on game day, we've got to be able to still maintain the level of performance to get the job done irrespective, and hopefully that means that, you know, we bring everyone along on the journey.
Can I just ask you one other thing about Russell Martin? Just strike from the outside, then if you want to go there. It just seemed a bit cruel that he gets wheeled in post-match, has to stand up front of the cameras, and gets sacked 10 minutes later. It's like, as a fellow manager, do you get that feeling as well? Do you think that was wrong?
Is there a good way of doing it? I really don't know. But it's such... I don't know. We've lost all sort of modes of respect in our society where, you know, guys are in jobs and they're putting up, you know, names of who's going to replace them while they're still working, or that, you know, they're going to get... I mean, it's just, you know, we've crossed that line now, and it's pretty much open slate. You can do it whatever you like. You can do it in any way you like, and no one's going to say anything about the fact that a man who, you know, whether it's Russell or Gary, you know, I'm pretty sure 24/7 have just done everything in their power to you know, it's not for the want of trying, and their families, and yet, you know, we just so, as a society, we just so quick to just throw people in the trash and just like move on really quickly with no thought or any care around it. I said, I don't know if there's a good way or a best way of handling. That's why I've left before it's ever happened to me, mate. I kind of jump out before that comes my way.
But I guess it's just, like I said, we've crossed that line now. I think it's soap and slather. And I get people say, well, managers have always been sacked. But I just think now it's gone beyond that, where we forget there's a human being involved. This job is the hardest job now. In any walk of life, we say politics, this is harder than any job, because, like I said, the tenure and the longevity of this role now means that you go into it, very few are going to come out of it without any scars.
I've got the Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, oh mate, come on. Yeah, I mean, how many times he has an election, every, I don't know, years. I have one every weekend, mate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, mate. We have an election every weekend, and I either get voted in or out.
Okay,
well, good. Thanks.
For those of you,
You too, mate.